Hi everyone, today we are going to do a critical analysis video about Frankenstein. This novel was written by Mary Shelley. Mary Shelley was born in 1797. She wrote this book at the age of 18 years old. She wanted to write a story that terrified her readers due to the fact of the mysterious fear of nature. That is why she constructed a science fiction novel about an ambitious and obsessed scientist who wanted to exceed the limits of science by creating new life. What he never thought was that he had created a giant monster that would make his life impossible. Although Mary wrote it in 1816, it was published in 1818 anonymously. In this novel, we can find 5 themes that are constantly used: nature, death, the weather and the elements, alienation, and madness. Mary also wanted the reader to have quickened beatings of the heart, and I think she made it. In my point of view, I consider this novel has many mixed feelings and makes you always be on the lookout for what could happen. This book starts with Robert Walton, a ship captain that was writing letters for his sister about his situation. Suddenly, in the distance, a man was approaching in a sleigh pulled by some dogs. This weird man aboard the ship and is here where he begins to tell the story. Victor Frankenstein was a successful scientist from Geneva. He had 2 brothers and 1 adopted sister, Elizabeth. One day he discovered how to create new life by putting parts of dead bodies together. So, as soon as he created that huge creature, he realized that it was a big mistake. The monster tried to integrate into society, but as expected, it was rejected and feared by many people because his appearance was terrifying. He was filled with rage against Frankenstein, so he decided to make his life impossible and kill the people most dear for him. The first victim was his brother William, then his friend Henry Clerval, and the worst one, Elizabeth, just after they got married. Time later, Victor died, and the monster was next to his body, and he was really sorry for all the murders he had committed. The structure of this novel is one of the things that I like the most. It's so entertaining because it is not only a narrative, but also a personification, because in many parts of the book is Victor who is talking. So it uses different types of narrators. On the other hand, it seems to me so amazing the way that Mary plays with the characters and assigns each of them a different and important role, in such a successful way to be able to make the novel enjoyable. For example, with both main characters, Victor Frankenstein and the monster. Here, the contrast of personalities is evident. Victor, a scientist that was carried away by ambition and the desire to have and create more and more. Otherwise, the monster only wants to be part of the society. He only wants to be normal as the other ones and have somebody to love. We can see this when the monster says, "Here are 2 aspects that we can critically analyze. To discuss the first factor, we can focus on the last words that the monster said to Robert Walton. Do you really believe that I thought what I was doing was right? My heart was poisoned with hatred. I thought only of revenge. I'd hate myself." The monster had good intentions when he was created, but the discriminations made him act that way. This opened the way to the next factor. Perhaps if Victor had created a wife for the monster, Elizabeth's death and even Frankenstein's death would have been prevented, because the monster would have felt loved and accepted by someone else. I think Victor allowed himself to be blinded by the fear and rage he had towards the monster, and that's why he lost the opportunity to save the love of his life and himself. Frankenstein is a novel written with the purpose of being able to imagine yourself within the story. I really invite you to read this novel from cover to cover. It is a book that you never tire of reading. Despite being a book written more than 100 years ago, it is easy to understand and eye-catching.